.25 Friday morning. The first ever guest on the first ever BT Bloggers Week is back. Mack of mastermack.ca. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me back.
Now, of course, your blog covers a number of different topics, and that's kind of, I guess, how you approach Edmonton, isn't it? You're not just politics, you're not just events, you're not just food trucks, though you love them.
I love them.
Yeah.
I skew urban affairs, I like to say. So politics, tech, business, but yeah, I dabble in food and arts and some other stuff as well. So whatever I'm interested in and whatever I think people should know about that's going on in Edmonton, I like to write about.
I know those that walk the halls of City Hall are familiar with your face. What do you make of yesterday here on Breakfast Television, Mayor Mandel sending a couple shots toward Councillor Diot? You think that indicates that Mandel either definitely will be or definitely will not be seeking re-election?
Well, I've thought for a little while now that he's probably not going to run again this year, and that just reinforced it to me, I think. You know, he, like you guys were saying, he seems like a weight has been lifted. He's got the arena thing done. I think a lot of people see that as his legacy project. I don't necessarily. But, you know, I think he feels like, okay, I can step away from this a little bit. And
what do you
nice
think
job
legacy,
yesterday, by the way.
Well, hey, what can I say? Sometimes it just lands in your lap. What do you think his legacy will be?
You know, for me, his legacy is really the way that he's changed how council and administration interact. So before he became mayor, you know, the councillors, I think in a lot of cases, didn't feel like they were part of the team, like they weren't pushing anything forward. And, you know, under his guidance, they've all got portfolios, they play a key role at City Hall. I know he didn't like, when he was a councillor, being kind of off to the sideline, so he's really changed that.
All right, you can follow Mack through this morning. He'll be live blogging. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter as well. I'm curious to know what you think this mayoral race might look like. Let's start with Kerry Diot, because he officially threw his hat into the ring yesterday. He's the first to do so. You think he has a shot?
Well, I think he appeals to a certain kind of voter.
That's a very interesting answer, Mack.
I think it's great that he's thrown his hat into the ring. You know, I mean, I can see why some of the other councillors would want to wait for Mayor Mandel to make up his mind about whether or not they're going to run. But, you know, it's good that Kerry said, you know, I'm going to run anyway. This is something I want to do, and I don't need to wait for anybody else to make that decision. So, you know, I think he should be considered a strong candidate for sure.
Is it fair to say that maybe some of these councillors that could run for mayor and could have a good shot at securing that job might be Mandel loyalists who wouldn't run against him? I'm thinking of Councillor Don Iveson. I'm thinking of Councillor Amarjeet Sohi and probably Karen Leibovici as well. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, none of them really want to run if the mayor's going to run. Number one, because he'll be impossible to beat. But number two, yeah, I mean, I think they all have a lot of respect for what he's done as mayor, and they want to wait until he's ready to step away before they try and take their shot at it. So
one of the biggest accolades that I've ever seen you deservingly receive is the way that you break down the statistics during municipal elections. If you haven't seen it, go check out the archives on Mack's blog. I mean, you've really taken it to the next level, and I think that's why a lot of people appreciate what you offer up at mastermack.ca. Now, when it comes down to it, this election in October, were Mandel to run, and this is my last question before we go to break here. Sure. You said you don't think anyone would beat him, but it's been a controversial few years for him. There are a lot of people upset, not just with the arena, but with the funding framework for it. You really think it would be a landslide, or do you think that he might be susceptible to getting knocked out of that job? I think it'd be pretty much a landslide. I don't think the arena issue is any worse than the airport issue we had a few years ago, and he came out of the last election with a huge victory, even though there was a lot of concern about that project and the decisions that, you know, he and his council have made. So, no, I think he'd have it in the bag. Okay, we're going to fit in a commercial break here, then it's news, traffic, and weather, then say what. You know the drill, but Mack's here all morning long. The beauty about Twitter is that these conversations can continue through commercial breaks, etc. You know where to find us. We'll be right back with everything you need to know on this Friday morning.